ani lughatul arabia, hadith, qiraa, sira, ndo jukumu lake fakat. Jukumu lake si la malezi. Jukumu la malezi lako. Usiache majukumu yako shule uje umwambie mwalimu bwana, unajua wewe ndo uko naye hapa, sisi tunkuatia wewe. Abadan. Mwalimu akumleta duniani, jukumu la mwalimu ni la kumfundisha peke yake. La tarbia la kumfanya, la kumpa malezi lako. Na hawa watoto hawataki mengi wazee.
La kutafakari.
تبارك الذي نزل الفرقان على عبده ليكون للعالمين نذيرا.
Ni kitabu kitukufu.
Ni kitabu ambacho cha miujiza
kilichoteremshwa kwa mpangilio.
Hazikuletwa harufu hizi za mkato moja kwa moja.
Hakuna mfano wake.
Na hamwezi nyinyi Makureishi kuwa ni wenye kutunga kitabu kama hiki, ingawa zimetumia harufu zile ambazo zimezitumia katika kuandika au katika kusema.
Miujiza yake Al-Malik.
Mwenyezi Mungu ana uwezo usiokuwa na kifani.
Ni malengo ya Qur'an.
Khazain zote za ardhi na samawati ziko mikononi mwake.
Sheikh Muhammad Badamana na uchambuzi wa Qur'an kwa undani kila Alhamisi saa 3 usiku kwenye Horizon TV.
As you're sitting with a friend, he turns to you and says, "Do you know what Yusuf said about you? He said you're a selfish hypocrite." What would go through your mind? How could Yusuf say that about me? Who does he think he is? You might even want to call him up and give him a piece of your mind. Imam Hassan al-Basri rahimahullah went through something similar. A man once came to him and said, "Someone has been speaking badly about you." But the Imam responded with one question: "Hasn't Shaitan found a messenger other than you?" He instantly stopped the man from speaking further because he knew that this conversation was the work of Shaitan. So why do so many of us fall into the sins of the tongue? The Prophet ﷺ told us a reason. He said, "A slave of Allah will speak a word displeasing to Allah which he thinks to be insignificant, and because of it he will..."
Horizon TV, the beacon for the nation.
Assalamu alaikum. Kwa jina nilobarikiwa nalo ni Ibtisam Jamal. Ungana nami katika Sabah Show.
Only on Horizon TV.
Pearls of Wisdom.
Aisha radiallahu anha said that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, "The most beloved actions to Allah are those performed consistently, even if they are few."
Kuna faida gani twapata tukimjua Mtume sallallahu alayhi wasallam?
Nabii mwenye ushawishi mkubwa duniani.
Tukizikwa tukitiwa kaburini, tutaulizwa haya maswali matatu: man rabbuk, ma dinuk, man nabiyuk.
Sheikh Jamaluddin anakupa simulizi.
Huwezi kumpenda mtu usiyemjua
na kutambua sunna zake,
lakini ukimjua na ukimtambua Mtume Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, mapenzi yako yatazidi.
Ufahamu Rasulullah, familia na maswahaba wake. Tazama sira ya Mtume kila Jumatatu saa 1 jioni kwenye Horizon TV. Horizon TV, the beacon for the nation.
Assalamu alaikum. Kwa jina nilobarikiwa nalo ni Ibtisam Jamal. Ungana nami katika Sabah Show.
Only on Horizon TV.
Sabah Show.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Ikiwa ni tarehe 9 ya Rabiul Awal mwaka 1441 sawia na tarehe 6 ya mwezi Novemba mwaka 2019. Karibu katika Sabah Show, awamu ya uchambuzi wa magazeti, tukipeperusha katikati mwa jiji la Nairobi katika msikiti wa Jamia. Jina langu ni Ibtisam Jamal. Ikiwa ni Jumatano adhimu, Jumatano ambayo jua limeweza kuyoyoza kila mahali, baridi hakuna. Niko na Abubakar na Robert ambao wachanganuzi wetu wa masuala ya kisiasa wataweza kutusaidia kuchambua magazeti ya katika awamu yetu ya kwanza. Katika awamu yetu ya pili tutaweza kuangalia jinsi kampuni ya Safaricom imeweza kuendeleza shughuli zao kwa miaka mingi, huku Wakenya wengi wakiweza kuingia katika telecommunication hiyo ambao ni Safaricom. Endelea kutazama Horizon TV katika masaa yetu mawili. Kumbuka katika awamu yetu ya pili utaweza kuchangia katika mada yetu ya leo kupitia nambari zetu za simu au ujumbe mfupi au kupitia mitandao ya kijamii @Horizontv Kenya, Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. Abubakar, assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
How are you?
Niko poa.
Leo nasema nitakuongelesha Kiswahili. Robert, karibu sana.
Asante sana.
Robert kutoka wapi?
Robert kutoka Bomet County.
Bomet County.
Ndio.
Sasa naona tutamtembelea. Tutaweza kuchukua na mimi naye tumchukue huyu tumpeleke Bomet.
Lazima tumtembeze.
Kiswahili kimemshinda.
Aha.
Kwa hivyo leo kuna mtihani ataweza kusoma. Nikianza na Taifa Leo. Abubakar. Abubakar, naomba unisomee ukurasa wa kwanza.
Ukurasa wa kwanza wa Taifa Leo wasema Raila motoni kwa kudunisha mabinti au jamii.
Naweza nisomea paragrafu ya kwanza.
Na kiongozi wa ODM Raila Odinga amejipata pabaya kutokana na kauli aliyotoa majuzi kuwahusu wanawake wa jamii ya Wakamba. Bwana Odinga alitoa kauli hiyo wakati wa mkutano wa kumpigia debe mwaniaji wa ODM katika uchaguzi mdogo.
Shukrani sana. Katika gazeti hili letu leo, Raila ako motoni kuhusiana na matamshi yake ambao wa jamii ya wanawake, jamii ya Kamba, wamesema Kamba ni kudunisha hadhi yao. Wamesema licha kwamba ni waaminifu lakini amedunisha hadhi ya wanawake katika jamii ya Wakamba. Robert, tuanze na wewe kwa sababu uko kwa mkono wangu wa kulia. Masuala kama haya, viongozi kuweza kudunisha wanawake na wanawake kuwa katika mstari wa mbele kuweza kujitetea na hadhi zao, hawataki kufananishwa na masuala kama hayo. Kwani wanawake wanapaswa kuonekana ni kama wanawake washupavu.
Kwanza ningependa kuanza kwa kusema asante kwa kunialika katika show ya leo.
Shukrani sana, karibu.
Alafu pia niweze kuchangia katika mada ya leo. Na ningependa kusema kwamba matamshi ya kiongozi wa ODM ambaye ni Raila Odinga kidogo wajua ni kuna kule kusema kutelezwa kwa ulimi. Nikidhani kiongozi wa ODM Raila Odinga alikuwa na utelezi wa ulimi wake. Kwa sababu tuko katika wakati ambao tunajaribu kuinua hadhi ya wanawake katika taifa letu la Kenya. Hivyo kulinganisha ama kufananisha ukarimu wa jamii fulani na ukarimu, kuulinganisha na ukarimu wa wanawake kwa mada ambayo labda kidogo unaweza kuwa kuhusunisha mioyo ya wanawake. Sidhani kama ilikuwa kwa uzuri. Sidhani kama ingeweza kufurahisha kina mama.
Abubakar, ni Taifa Leo, natumai utaweza kusema kwa Kiswahili.
To be honest, on this issue, I think the honorable former Prime Minister Raila Odinga was just joking, to be honest. But people have taken it, very seriously, and it attracts the need to apologize to people, because I'm sure he did not mean to demean women or to demean a certain community. He has always joked before with such kind of issues. In many attempts they have been funny, but this time it was a bad joke. So he should just come out and say, these were not my intentions, and apologize to the people, and then this matter will be done.
When I look at Daily Nation, the front page says here, point of no return in NASA's bitter fallout. Says here, vicious Kibra by-election war unearths deep-seated grudges among partners. It says here, when the Kibra by-election campaigns were ongoing, that's when we knew that there was a rift in ODM between Raila Odinga, Moses Wetangula, Kalonzo Musyoka, James Orengo and Musalia Mudavadi. We've even seen that Raila Odinga Kalonzo Musyoka could be in ongoing vicious war, kwa sababu ukiangalia Raila Odinga katika kampeni yake ya Imran Okoth weekendi ambao iliyopita, tunaona kwamba magavana kutoka Ukambani pia umeweza kumunga mkono. So ni kwamba unaona kwamba ni mgawanyiko ambao ulikuwa tangu kitambo au ni mgawanyiko ambao unaonekana saizi because of Kibra by election. It's unraveling everything.
You know, this rift has been there, but all things have been calm because, you know, there is no that political heat, you know, that was there to necessitate the, you know, the exchange of words and to bring out the rift clearly. But right now we have something that can show there is a political division somewhere, and this is definite in the NASA. You know, NASA is no longer there. The five, you know, they were calling themselves principals and co-principals, you know, are no longer sharing the same ideologies, the same thoughts that they shared some time ago. You know, I saw Musalia Mudavadi, you know, insulting, not actually insulting, but talking against the former Prime Minister Raila Odinga, saying that, you know, he's the biggest political burden that Kenya has had.
Yeah, we'll tackle that story more on the second segment of this show.
I think, okay, to say this, there is a problem in NASA, but I would go back to your word. You said there is a rift in ODM. I don't think it's ODM, it's NASA that has a rift.
And when I add something, it says here,
yes,
this is additional to ODM's refusal to share the party 4.2 billion political parties windfall. Still,
you know,
right now, still.
Now you would realize that this takes us back to as a country. It takes us back to what feeds into our political ideologies. When NASA came together, they told us they had the same political ideology, that they came together because of one common factor, one political common factor. But you realize that in a small by-election like one in Kibra, they are divided and they are scattered. That tells you there is a problem. That tells you that people come together for selfish interests, not for ideological sharing. I mean, they don't share the same ideology. It is for selfish interest. That is what I would read in there.
Abu Bakar.
You know, politics, it's all about self-interest. So we cannot be surprised when a politician is there for individual gains. But again, I see this rift in NASA as a result of the handshake. This is because as much as the handshake was positive, you know, with all the benefits that came with it, reduction of political tension, better business environment, but it was done between two people. You know, it created a unity on one side of the political divide and a division, you know, to another side. So we have, it's like you just realigning, you know, the political affiliations that people have. So it just creates two groups, you know, but the two former groups who are fighting are now together against another group. So it's all about inclusivity. If you are saying that you have the interest of nation and the nation at heart, you want to bring people together, unite people together, then let it be a round table where you have the five core principles, you have the president and the deputy president. Then if it's a conversation between 7 people, then you can have, you do not have that rivalry, that, you know, bitter political rivalry that this one betrayed me on this, went to shake hands with this one. We shouldn't be having such issues. If there was a round table, it will be better, and it's never too late. We have the BBI report that was released and such kind of things, but we need the leaders in this country to put their heads together, and not for the purpose of, you know, sharing political positions, but if truly, because all these people, when they are vying, you know, they come to political campaigns, each and every person has a manifesto, and they all have in the manifestos things which are affecting you. You know, they are telling you we'll build hospitals, roads and such kind of things, because they know these things are affecting you, and they claim that we want to change your lives, but they never do. So if someone is very sincere on his intention to, you know, serve the citizens of this country in a certain political position in the government, then sit down with the other. As much as you differ politically, reduce the tension and compete on a fair ground. Then we'll have, you know, sober politics in this country.
Thank you. Tukiangalia gazeti la The Standard front page, it says here, we've destroyed Kenya, says Uhuru's MP. Gatundu South MP ask Parliament an executive to apologize to Kenyans for cooking books, taking expensive loans, receiving kickbacks, and lying about the state of economy. Moses Kuria says that as a parliament, asema, we have failed Kenyans because we have sold to them the romantic story that all is well. We failed in our oversight role because we could have said no, but we said yes. Selling lies, he says that. Asema, that all was well because we believed in respecting the executive, and most of us are members of the ruling party. Asema, we have lied to Kenyans. We are doing badly as an economy.
I think I agree with Moses Kuria.
How is
he's being very honest. I don't know for whatever reasons that he's doing that, but he's being absolutely honest. Our constitution recognizes 3 arms of government. And among the three arms of the government are the executive, the legislature, and the judiciary. It's just a day since we had the Chief Justice, that is the judiciary, speaking that they are being shortchanged in budgetary allocation from the executive. So the judiciary is complaining about the executive. Today, we are seeing the Gatundu South MP, who happens to be the member of parliament of His Excellency the President. And he is coming out unapologetically saying that they are failing this country. The legislature should be there to check the excesses of the executive. Now, that is their work, of which they have failed us. I would accuse, and I would put blame on the members of parliament allied to the government. Those are the members of parliament who form the majority in the parliament, who are allied to the ruling party, which is Jubilee, which made the government. We are under a Jubilee government. They've been there and they've been singing choruses. It's been a choir. I mean, they just get their notes from the executive, and they do everything according to what the executive does. That is not the work of the legislature. It is an independent arm of government. They should run their own things. So I think what Moses Kuria is coming out to tell Kenyans is absolutely true, and they should go back and check where they missed. They should go back and check where it rained on them. I think they should just do their work.
Abu Bakar, talking about debit. It's high. Taxes, high. Economy, people are still complaining. The 1,000 that you get every day, maybe by the end of the month, is not enough nowadays to even cater for your family or for yourself. People are complaining high prices of foods. Unga, simu umeweza kupanda pia. People are complaining. Do you think as a country we have failed? And the reason we have failed is because of our leaders. We don't have an opposition right now. So everyone is looking for him or herself. Like he said, they have failed us.
You know, it's not, things are bad right now. But, you know, I fear for the future. Because Kenya has a very huge debt burden too. You know, the debt to GDP ratio right now is almost hitting 60%. We are borrowing loans with interest rates over 10%. And, you know, you can get loans at 1 to 2% interest rate from, you know, other countries. It's very unfortunate. You know, for every 100 shillings that is made in Kenya, 57 shillings of it goes to in the paying of loans. So, to be honest, I used to be an Uhuru supporter, you know,
what
from
happened?
2017.
What changed?
But when I see how this man has messed this country, I can't support him anymore, because, you know, it's not about politics as much as it's all about positions, getting a position. But when you get to that position, what do you do with it? Do you serve the people diligently? You know, if you can talk about a president like Moi Kibaki, you know, you can look at the track record and see that this man, in a period of this time, brought Thika Road Superhighway. He brought this kind of developments and such. But what is happening with His Excellency the President right now? I mean, we are in a mess as a country. And Roberto was saying that it's a failure on the legislature part of it. I do not see it as a failure on the legislature. To be honest, you know, we see these MPs, they are all under one alienation. You know, if it's the Jubilee MPs, they are all under the president. If the, you know, the opposition MPs, all under the, you know, under their leader, you know. So they are kind of in an alliance. So they can't do much. As much as you are talking as, about legislature as a separate arm of government, they work hand in hand with what the executive says. They are not that independent as the judiciary. Now, I see this as a failure. This is a gap that has risen from, you know, a lack of opposition in this country. Because we have corruption scandals, who is bringing them out? You know, we have these debt issues, high debts. Somebody, if there was an opposition right now, somebody would be complaining about this, and probably an action will be taken. The government will feel challenged and act upon such kind of issues.
Roberto, I'll come to you after the break, inshallah. Na mtazamaji, tupate pumziko fupi, tarejea baada ya muda usiokuwa mrefu, usiende mbali. Assalamu alaikum. Kwa jina nilobarikiwa nalo ni Ibtisam Jamal. Ungana nami katika Sabah Show.
Only on Horizon TV.
Pearls of Wisdom.
Aisha radiallahu anha said that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, "The most beloved actions to Allah are those performed consistently, even if they are few."
Kuna faida gani twapata tukimjua Mtume sallallahu alayhi wasallam?
Nabii mwenye ushawishi mkubwa duniani.
Tukizikwa tukitiwa kaburini, tutaulizwa haya maswali matatu: man rabbuk, ma dinuk, man nabiyuk.
Sheikh Jamaluddin anakupa simulizi.
Huwezi kumpenda mtu usiyemjua
na kutambua sunna zake,
lakini ukimjua na ukimtambua Mtume Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, mapenzi yako yatazidi.
Ufahamu Rasulullah, familia na maswahaba wake. Tazama sira ya Mtume kila Jumatatu saa 1 jioni kwenye Horizon TV.
Assalamu alaikum. Kwa jina nilobarikiwa nalo ni Ibtisam Jamal. Ungana nami katika Sabah Show.
Only on Horizon TV.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Karibu katika awamu yetu ya pili ya uchambuzi wa magazeti. Na kama ndo mwanzo unaangalia Horizon TV, kipindi ni Sabah Show, awamu uchambuzi wa magazeti. Niko na Robert To na Abubakar Mushiri. Karibu tena katika awamu yetu ya pili ya kipindi hiki. Robert, before we took a break, you wanted to say something about what's going on right now with the economy, with the state of the nation.
You know, I just wanted to respond to Abubakar. And he put blame on the executive. But you see, when government is formed, the president runs for office under a party. And that party has members of parliament who will, as aspirants, who will become members of parliament. Now, those members of parliament come in and they are given a specific role to check the executive that is led by the president. Now, an individual cannot run a single country single-handedly and successfully alone. No. That is why we have an election to elect members of parliament. They should be the ones to check the executive. I will not put blame absolutely on the president or on the executive alone. No, I won't put there, because the members of parliament who are the legislature have a role to play. They have a role to play. That is why we have a majority leader, we have a minority leader, we have a whip for respective parts of divisions of the parliament. That is their role. That is what they should do. Actually, for them, it is just to act as the monitors and the prefects of what the executive is doing. So that is why I would say what the member of parliament of Gatundu has done is good, but it does not have to stop there. I wish it came from the majority leader, who is Aden Duale, because he can rally the rest of the members
Let's
of parliament.
Let's stop there. Abubakar, okay, less than a
You know,
minute, I'm giving you.
Whatever you said is workable, but in developed countries. Look at politics in Kenya. It's all about what Baba says is what will follow. So if your leader has no direction, if your leader is not focused, then the whole team will not be focused. You do not expect a whole team of Jubilee MPs to be going against the president unless it is for political reason, you know, for development purposes. It's the leader who has to get direction, be focused, and take his team towards a certain direction.
Let us look at the Star front page.
Okay.
Robert, stop please. You can, it's near you.
In the Star we have a headline that 40 constituencies could be scrapped after 2019 census.
Yeah, let me also read it from the Standard. Page 7 says here, boundary review, next battle front after 2019 census. Othaya, those constituencies will be affected is Othaya, Tetu, Mukurweni, Ndaragwa, Mberi North, Kangema, Lamu East, Lamu West, Mwatate, Taveta, Voi, Bura, Galole, Isiolo South, and many more going on, and also Budalangi. Sasa tunaona kwamba viongozi wa kisiasa wameza kuwa katika mstari wa mbele kuweza kujitetea, wengine kusema wataenda kotini kuweza kuhakikisha kwamba kuhakikisha kwamba hii tukio kama hili haliwezi kufanyika. Wanasema kwamba census, zoezi la kuhesabiwa hali kuenda vile linapaswa kuwa. Abubakar, ulihesabiwa?
I was counted. At the last minutes, at the dying minutes of the process.
But still you were counted.
But you know, the politicians who are complaining are complaining probably, you know, the population that they perceived of their counties were not as high as the
So these are 27 constituencies, these are 27 MPs who will lose their job.
Yeah, that's why they are crying out, and we understand their you know, their grievances, to be honest. But again, I see people faulting the census results, and you wonder, as much as this is something which was left to a certain commission, you know, certain authority to deal with it, and as much you cannot say after results that this election was not conducted in the right way after the results have come out because the result does not please you. But if you faulted the exercise, you know, during the process, you say, you know, this is happening, some numbers are being faulted, you know, some entries in the tablets are not right, then at that time the issues can be looked at. But right now it's after the results. Your constituency is to be scrapped off. You are to lose your job. Okay, not to lose your job, but in future you might not be having a seat to vie for. But again, you fault the process, you fault the results and not the process, then it won't come to much. So they might go to High Court and such, but I see the census results remaining. And again, it's for it's all a game of numbers. You know, it's all about politics in this issue.
Yes, Robert.
I think the 2019 census is the first time we are doing our census. We are counting ourselves digitally as a country. And it is so wrong that in this time and age, we are still looking at everything we do in this country in a political perspective. I mean, what's wrong? Look at those people who are complaining. They are not the public. The people complaining are the leaders. And the one mistake, I'm not saying it's wrong for them to complain, but the one mistake they are doing is they are all complaining on the view of politics. I mean, all of them are looking at the numbers politically. Every member of parliament is complaining because they are viewing these numbers in the lenses of 2022. That is where the problem is. Because most of them are putting they are comparing the numbers with the 2009, the last census that we did. We have a background from 2009, but you see, in 2009 we did this thing manually. I would agree with the numbers today, because for the first time we transferred the figures from the ground through gadgets. That was digitally. It is so raw. It is so hard to tamper with digits that are electronically transferred. It is so hard, unlike when you're transferring digits manually. So I would agree with the numbers of 2019 than even 2009. If they have to benchmark anything, we would rather complain about the numbers in 2009 and then we say we wronged ourselves. We didn't count ourselves correctly in 2009 against a background of 2019, because today I believe these numbers are good than even the 2009 numbers. But again, we should divorce politics from independent things.
of course this thing was done by independent body. We should start to respect independent bodies that were assigned these duties by our constitution.
When you look at page 6 of the Standard,
yep,
says the same things. Says here, leaders threatened to sue in row over population results. These are senators, these are MPs, these are governors who came together and say that they will sue in because they don't agree with the census. Do you agree with them? For once, all of them came together for a purpose.
You know, it's their right. You know, let them go to court, and the High Court, you know, will decide whether whatever issues, whatever petitions they are bringing to the court, you know, are justified or not justified. So we leave that to the High Court, because they might have their own reasons, either valid or invalid reasons, and it's for the court to decide on this issue.
Still, matters of census, page 8 of the Standard says here, how numbers will affect allocation to counties. Says here, 45% of the money that is sent to respective devolved unit is a factor of population size. Do you think it is a role because of the money which is going to be sent? Of course, when the population has decreased, it means that the allocation of funds from the national government to the counties will decrease. And it's a cry which our leaders are crying because of that. Is it because of that, or is it because of the development, or is it because of the wananchi?
You know, I agree that the county allocation, the allocations to different regions should be done according to the numbers that were provided by the census. I agree with that. That is how the national cake should be distributed, according to the numbers that are in the ground. But again, there is a law. There is a law guiding how the allocation should be done. You know, the Constitution brings together a number of laws that this allocation should be done, this percentage should be done to these counties. I think the national government should adhere to what the Constitution says. They should allocate funds according to what the Constitution says, and then we should use the numbers to allocate funds accordingly, because you cannot have a devolved unit with 10 times million number of people, 10 times higher number of people receiving the same amount with a county that has lesser people in its devolved unit. That is not equity.
Bubakar, do you agree with that?
You know, of course, you have to allocate funds according to population, because you are supposed to bring development to the roots. You are supposed to bring, you know, services to the people. But again, I'm concerned with as much as you might increase allocation, but a long-term solution. How do these counties, you know, spend the money that is allocated to them? Some months ago, they were complaining about fewer allocation to from national government to county government in terms of resources. But how well do they utilize whatever they are given by the government? Because as much as we talk about increasing allocation and such kind of things, if you go down to the roots, a lot of money is being lost. We have some counties getting involved in huge corruptions, you know, and other counties are returning money back to the national government, you know, like Salim Mvuria's county. So let us look at how well do we invest whatever we are given from the national government as county governments. So let us invest more in development to grow the lives of the people, because, you know, a population increase demands more development. It demands more hospitals, it demands more schools, you know, such kind of issues. So more services needs to be rendered to the citizens of those specific areas in which the population has greatly increased. So, but yes, money will be brought, but how well do you utilize this as a county government?
The same topic, your sentiments on page 20 of Standard says here, MCAs raise concern over unspent Kenya shilling 56 million bursary. It says here, Embu MCAs have raised questions on disbursement of bursary funds after it emerged that 56 million had not been released to beneficiaries yet. You're talking about the same things.
It's all about corruption in this issue, because I've seen you know a certain county in this country releasing 91 names of people that, you know, we have given bursaries to people of Kenyatta University, 91 people, and even the county does not reach 15 people in Kenyatta University. So bursaries have become, you know, a milking spot for, you know, for members of parliament, because they are receiving money, they should allocate bursaries, they are giving less bursaries, you know, and money is not being released to the schools.
Yes, Robert. It says here that the money which is supposed to go to the recipients won't reach right now because they've closed schools. So it means that the last time fees was not paid.
You know,
yes.
We have had a lot of time talking about corruption, which is true. It's a real cancer in our country. But it's not only corruption. What fuels it? I think we should start having conversations about what fuels corruption. What are the firewood? Which is the firewood that makes this corruption light? One is bureaucracy. You know, dealing with the government money, there are a lot of bureaucratic steps. There are a lot of hurdles that you have to go through. The paperwork, I mean, which makes the most of it, the paperwork. Until the paperwork works, it takes a lot of steps. It goes through this, it goes through that, it goes through this process, which becomes so hard to get this money. That is why that money does not end up at the individual, or even if it gets to the individual, it gets to the individual at a late time. I think we should start discussing about legislation where we have these things cut down. I mean, we reduce bureaucracy in our government. The reason why you had Abu Bakr talking about the money being reverted back to the national treasury is because it's not that the county governments don't have programs to run. It's not that the leaders don't have programs to run. They have programs to run. But now, those, like the IFMIS window, we had the Chief Justice talk about the IFMIS window was open for 1 week. That does not give enough time for a department or a default unit or a ministry to manipulate the money, to use the money exhaustively, because the paperwork again, if that window is open for 1 week and the paperwork has to be done, and that paperwork has to go through some office and another office and another office before it gets to the treasury, then that is where the problem is. I will not only accuse corruption. Of course there is corruption, but again, there are structures that need to be smoothened in majorly in regards to finances, in regards to treasury, that the steps should be smoothened so that these monies come faster, so that it gets to the individual faster. I would agree with the leaders there, the members of the county assembly. They are saying the right thing, but we should start discussing about how to reduce bureaucracy.
Naam, shukrani.
Exactly.
Naam, mtazamaji, kwa sasa tumeweza kuangazia gazeti moja, lakini usiende mbali, tutaweza kuangazia zaidi magazeti yetu ya leo ambao yako katika humu nchini. Usiende mbali, tupate pumziko fupi.
Assalamu alaikum. Kwa jina nilobarikiwa nalo ni Ibtisam Jamal. Ungana nami katika Sabah Show.
Only on Horizon TV.
On the next episode,
Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam kana yu'jibuhu at-tayammuna. Tume alikuwa anapenda kitu chochote cha khairi kilicho kizuri, ibada, anatanguliza kulia, iwe ni mkono, iwe ni mguu, iwe kwa kusimama. Hata ukisimama kwenye nyumba, wataka kuingia nyumba na wewe unaomba idhini ya kuingia, si vizuri kusimama upande wa kushoto, sawa ni kusimama upande wa kulia. Ndio manhaj ya Uislamu. Right fil kitaba, fil qiraa, fil bidaya, kila kitu ina kilicho chema, kilicho kizuri inaanza kwa kule. Hata al-Kaaba, ar-ruknu al-yamani.
Horizon TV, the beacon for the nation.
Assalamu alaikum. Kwa jina nilobarikiwa nalo ni Ibtisam Jamal. Ungana nami katika Sabah Show.
Only on Horizon TV.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Karibu katika awamu yetu ya tatu yanayomwisha uchambuzi wa magazeti. Nikiangalia gazeti la Daily Nation page 4 says here chaos as Sonko goons storm anti-graft offices. So there was chaos yesterday as Nairobi Governor Mike Sonko appeared for the fourth time at the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission offices to record statement. While he was going in, wanahabari walikuwa scaffolded up by security officers were Sonko, of which they scaffolded up those tear gas, of which it wasn't right for wanahabari kuhandoliwa namna hiyo. Media Council came in and says that the CI should look into it because it is infringing their rights as wanahabari kupata taarifa, kuweza kuambia wananchi. It is their right, but handling journalists like that, it wasn't right. And we've seen this going on for several times where security officers of certain politicians, of certain organizations, rough up, of scaffold up journalists, of which it is not right. What's your take on that?
I would, it takes us back again. You know, every time we talk about our leaders in Kenya, I feel pained because this is the same thing that they do over and over and over and over. But again, it speaks to our culture. You know, our country, we are a people that like leaders who like doing things like that, who like roughing up people, who like showing their muscle. I mean, that is what our people do. Those are the people we elect. Those are the people we take them to offices. But again, if Sonko was addressing an issue, a court case issue with the EACC, Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, I mean, what is the problem in him taking himself there humbly? I mean, why would he come with a whole host of escorters? What is the point? He's not doing a wedding. He's addressing a court case. He should just go there, clear his name. If he's certain that he's going to clear his name, then let him present himself there. Let him discuss with the investigating officers, and they reach an amicable solution. This only tells us that there is something that is hiding. I mean, coming up with all those people, we know he has support. Why should he show us? Why should he also show us? Of course, most of us are backing him. Those of us who come from Nairobi. So why is he showing us that?
Is it lack of respect for journalists, or is it that people don't take them seriously?
You know, I see it as a form of arrogance. As much as, because if you look at how many politicians have been involved in such kind of cases, very few. As much as many politicians do not like media people, it hasn't gone to the extent of, you know, roughing them up. You know, only police have had cases of such we have had. But you know, in this instance, the governor himself slapped a journalist, you know, and he was trying to get to EACC inside a vehicle, you know, he was told you can't, and such kind of issues. Then he had his whole team of goons, you know. It isn't right. And it's all about impunity. If you let such a case go, you know, it gives it another chance, you know. It brings a leeway, you know, for another time a politician is not pleased, you know, with him being taken photos of or such kind of issues, then some things will happen worse than what is happening right now. And we see it as lack of freedom for journalists, lack of respect for them, and such kind of issues should be highly looked at, and the governor should be brought to book on this case. And again, the governor was there, you know, for fraud charges and you know, corruption related and such kind of things. And again, you look back at what kind of leaders do we elect. You know, if the governor Sonko, when he was vying for governor, he was saying that, you know, he will stop all the shenanigans that he used to do and such, and he will be, you know, that executive leader that you want for governor. But has he been so? You know, he has kind of still been the same person. So we should reflect as, you know, the Nairobi people, what kind of leaders do you elect? Nationwide, what kind of leaders do you elect? Because your leader kind of reflects the kind of people you are as a community. So we are choosing the wrong leaders, And again, such kind of thing should not be let go. Somebody should be prosecuted for this.
When we look at page 6 of Daily Nation, still says here, lawyers come to defense the CJ Maraga. Says here, a cross-section of Kenyans came to defense of Chief Justice David Maraga and the judiciary, saying the budget cuts would end up hurting courts. A judge who asked not to be named said if nothing happens by December, the gains made by judiciary would be reversed. We've even seen, we can see usually on Twitter, we saw on Twitter how Kenyans came up to support judiciary and CJ David Maraga, saying that he is right, he deserves to be respected, judiciary deserves more money because it serves Kenyans. Without judiciary, we won't have law, we won't have the rights of citizens, won't be that. And then we have that without judiciary, it's an arm of government also. So it should be respected as the same way other arm of governments are respected, Robert.
To this day, I still agree with our constitution, the 2010 constitution, as the best constitution of our country. But I think we have a problem with the people that we put in office. And the blame lies squarely with the executive arm of government. The mere fact that it is the executive arm of government, I think should not give them a leeway to oppress the other arms of government or to just stamp their feet on the other arms of government. Judiciary is an arm of government which is independent and is equal. They are equal partners with the executive. So they should be allocated the necessary, the requisite resources. It is the executive that tells us that we have given resources to respective independent institutions to carry their mandate, to carry out their mandate. Now, I heard somewhere somebody say that when you see the alligator come from the ocean and says that the crocodile is sick, you should believe it. But I think this time round, when the CJ came out to speak about this, the crocodile himself came out and said, I am sick. That is what the CJ told us.
You know, we are talking about much infringement of the independence of the judiciary. But some of the things that we should highlight on this is the budget cut. You know, the judiciary's budget was cut by almost a third. You know, before, in the previous years, before the budget cut, I used to see, you know, some kind of courts, you know, beside traffic courts, you know, that if you're involved in a traffic offense, you just get into the court. It's a mobile court. Yes. You get into the court, you are fined for whatever amount or such kind of things. Deep down in areas which are marginalized, I used to see cases being solved under trees that, you know, judges could go down, you know, they had funds, vehicles, go down and solve cases at the roots. But what is happening right now? Are we seeing such kind of issues? And as much as we are saying the executive is not doing this, I blame the president, to be honest, on this issue. Because yesterday when he was addressing the event at KRA, you know, in the manner in which he addresses the judiciary, that if you want to, then you can, it just shows how bad the relation with the executive and the judiciary is. Because for the government to be successful, you need the three arms to work hand in hand. But we have the leader of the executive who is not in good terms with the judiciary. And again, he infringed the rights of the judiciary. I saw the Judge Anne, I cannot remember her second name, but she was complaining that the president is faulting the process in which judges are appointed. You know, the JSC brings out a list of judges. They verify them and do all that, and they give them to the president constitutionally to verify and ensure that, you know, the people go through. But the president faults the list of people, you know, the list of judges that have been appointed by the JSC. He has representatives in the JSC, such as the Attorney General, who can address such kind of issues. It's not right. The president is doing injustice to the judiciary. And I've seen, you know, CJ Maraga saying that, you know, there are attempts or alliances to make sure that he's impeached by the end of the year. It shouldn't be so. As much as, you know, it could be, the source of all these could be, you know, the 2017 annulment of the election. But again, as much as you're not you are not pleased with a court's decision, you shouldn't go down to hurting, because this is not hurting the judiciary. It's hurting the Kenyans when they do not receive justice, when you have prolonged cases, delayed cases, when you know cases of corruption are not solved because we do not have enough resources in the judiciary. The president is doing Kenyans injustice. The judiciary should be respected and given its independence.
Tukiweza kudilute whatever right now politics, it says here Taifa Leo page 1 and 2 asema wapwani waumbwa kukubalia waume zao kuoa wake wengi. Ni kwamba waambiwa wanawake katika kanda ya pwani wamehimizwa kukubali waume zao kuoa wake zaidi ya moja ili kuwezesha kuongezeka kwa idadi ya watu katika eneo hilo. Baraza la maimamu na uhubiri nchini CIPK lilisema jana kwamba upanuzi wa ndoa ndio utakaowezesha idadi ya watu pwani kuongezeka. Are we focusing on the right thing right now? Should we focus?
Let's ask Robert if he can marry 2 wives first. Robert, can you marry 2 wives?
No, myself no.
He can.
I would really marry 1 wife whom I love.
But people, I think we are focusing with the current economy. People are focusing more on the population rather than development and our economy, our security issues, and many.
But I'm only wondering why is it insisting on the cost alone? Is it because of it is allowed in that part of the country?
Yeah, of course. You cannot.
But according to the Kenyan constitution, a man can marry 2 wives. It's in the Kenyan constitution. Imekubaliwa. So
but
there are other things that feed into our cultures beyond the constitution alone. So in other parts of this country, some people are according to their...
You are smiling and are happy.
On this issue, the people who are being talked to are not the men. The men are willing to marry 2 wives, but the women are being asked by the imams and such that allow your husbands to marry 2 wives, because the women, they raise issues, they bring all kinds of noises.
Let's leave it at that. When you look at page 10 of the Star, says here, Kupet survey reveals that gaps in schools safety. Says here, schools are perceived to be the second home of children, a place where everything has to be done to keep them safe. But the report found that most schools did not break down safety regulation to enable children to understand and avoid risk. So many children who are in school do not know the safety measures. In case maybe it's a fire, what do we do? In case something goes wrong, what do we do? We have only 2 minutes to wrap up the show briefly, Mr. Robert.
I think that issue is in order. It is a point in time that students are taught about their safety. I think part of the new curriculum that has been floated around the CPC should be part of it. Students, our children in primary school should be taught about how to take care of
less than a minute.
safety.
We have less than a minute.
It's not I see it as an issue of the schools. When the schools are being built, we do not have enough safety issues addressed. We do not have fire assembly points. We do not have fire extinguishers, and that's why we are seeing buildings come down in schools, people dying. So it's all about the government to tighten their ropes on issues in schools, that let the schools have safety measures so that it can be a safe place for everyone.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Robert. Thank you so much, Abubakar, for coming in and contributing. Your input is very important for the outlook of our Kenya. Na mtazamaji, sina budi ila kutamatisha awamu yetu ya kwanza ya uchambuzi wa magazeti. Kumbuka baada muda soko mrefu tutaingia na business chat ambapo tutaweza kuzungumzia evolution of Safaricom. How has it changed the lives of many? How has it changed the telecommunication industry? Are you affected by Safaricom in one way or another? Have you been blessed with Safaricom one way or the other? How has telecommunication affected you? Na usende mbali, kumbuka utaweza kuchangia katika madai baada muda usio mrefu. Jina langu ni Ibtisam Jamal.
Assalamu alaikum. Kwa jina nilobarikiwa nalo ni Ibtisam Jamal. Ungana nami katika Sabah Show.
Only on Horizon TV.
On the next episode,
Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam kana yu'jibuhu at-tayammuna. Tume alikuwa anapenda kitu chochote cha khairi kilicho kizuri, ibada, anatanguliza kulia, iwe ni mkono, iwe ni mguu, iwe kwa kusimama. Hata ukisimama kwenye nyumba, wataka kuingia nyumba na wewe unaomba idhini ya kuingia, si vizuri kusimama upande wa kushoto, sawa ni kusimama upande wa kulia. Ndio manhaj ya Uislamu. Right fil kitaba, fil qiraa, fil bidaya, kila kitu ina kilicho chema, kilicho kizuri inaanza kwa kule.